Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. The house was divided going into Game 6 between the Spurs and Thunder, but only one would prevail. I'm Spitface, and welcome back our adventuring host of the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith. It's good to see your smiling face this morning, First Lady.
Good morning, good morning. It's good to be back. I took a little hiatus there for a while, but anyway, I am back in the class. Looking forward to these. I'm so happy. I mean, my goodness. You know I have to be happy. My Knicks are in the finals. I got a funny. Now I ain't saying, but it do seem like a coincidence that the Knicks go on a roll and First Lady done disappeared. So I ain't saying there's a correlation there, but it might need to be investigated. All right, First Lady. Now this week on Shout Out we have performances from JC Flow plus Creepzz X Kosi Sia. And we know he's from the continent. Will they find their shining star or get the cold feel of the mute button? First Lady, we're ready. What you're saying? Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea, fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies known as the Cleveland Cavaliers wish they could fly far, far, far away from being swept, but they can't. The Knicks won Game 4 of their series, if you can call it that. I mean, it was 130-93, continuing the butt whipping from the previous 3 games. Was this win more about the rise of the Knicks or the weaknesses of the Cavaliers? Did James Harden disappear in Game 4, or was he hidden from the bright light shining on Jalen? The Knicks will have a lot of rest going into the finals. Could that be a bad thing? Are the Knicks the beasts of the East and the team of destiny? George Foreman, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, both rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? I mean, it was just total domination. I'm going to say it's more the rise of the Knicks than the weakness of the Cavaliers. So even though both are definitely evident, but to me, it's just more of the Knicks, the rise of the Knicks, because the Knicks didn't just win. I mean, they dominated the teams in the East, and they dominated the Cavaliers. I mean, they won 4 straight games against a team that was talented really enough to go to the finals. So, the Cavs actually were one of the teams that was picked to be in the finals. So I mean, right now, the Knicks really are a legitimate powerhouse. They are really playing together. They're connected defensively and offensively. It's very unusual to have a team offensively where everybody is hitting on all cylinders. Usually you might have one person, 2 people, but that starting 5 for the Knicks, all of them are hitting on all cylinders, including Josh Hart. Josh Hart is probably one of the weak spots of the Knicks starting 5 because he's not a great shooter, but he had a fantastic game in Game 2 against the Cavaliers. So, it's everybody, and it's really about the Knicks. They have that mental toughness. You have to remember the Knicks were there last year, too.
They were there last year, and they know the feeling that they did not win that Eastern Conference Final. And they know what happened to them in Game 1. They had a 14-point lead with only two and a half minutes left in the game and lost the game. So, you know, they have that mental toughness this time around. So definitely it's more about the rise of the Knicks. But, you know, I can say something, too. I can always scrutinize the Cavaliers because we can say that it wasn't an issue with star power. They just did not, it was a coaching issue. That coach, he did not do any adjustments. They didn't play defense, and they were very nonchalant. It seemed like they felt like they made it to the conference finals, and that's all they needed to do. But, it is what it is. Now, James Harden, yes, this is his MO. James Harden is a regular season player. He does have some good games in the playoffs, but when it comes to closeout games, historically, he has been horrible in closeout games. And you know me, I do my research. 2015, he had 13 turnovers in a Game 5 against the Warriors. That's when they went 5 games. 2017, he had 10 points in Game 6 at home. 2018, that was the worst against the Warriors. That's when Houston missed 27 straight threes in Game 7. They missed 27 straight threes. I really should check to see how many Harden missed. But we know Harden was a mess in 2018. And then against the Celtics in 2023, he had 9 points in Game 7. So, yeah, James Harden is not an elite player when it comes to the playoffs, and especially in closeout games. He is not an elite player at all. And he was not elite in this particular series. He looked very old. And to be honest with you, his style of playing really is very easy to defend. And the Knicks defense really had no problems with James Harden. The question is it going to be too much rest for the Knicks? No, especially after this morning news about Mitchell Robinson having a broken pinky. And it was already, as a matter of fact, they've already just announced that he already had surgery earlier in the week to repair the broken finger. So, no, they needed that rest. It's a good thing they took care of business. Because now that, he's had this pinky repaired, I think they said he still should be able to play. One of the insiders reported, for the Knicks, reported that he has full range of motion regarding his pinky after the surgery. So they expect him to play. So it's a good thing that we did the Knicks closed out. Because you could always have a lot of rest. You got recovery. The players can, those nagging injuries, they can relax those nagging injuries. More preparation time for the coach. And let's face it, the Spurs and the Thunder, they're beating each other up. So they're going to come into the series against the Knicks wounded, and they're going to be exhausted. Even though they will have, they're playing Saturday, so they will have, 3 days rest? It's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, so they're going to have 3 days rest. So, but the Knicks definitely would need all the rest that they can get considering their situation with Mitchell Robinson. And, of course, when you have a long break, let's face it, you're going to lose your rhythm, but that's just the way things are. And so I think the Knicks will be okay. But they just, oh my gosh, I've been a Knicks fan since 47 years, since 1979. I have never seen the Knicks play the way they did in that, in their run to the championship. It's been awesome. They have broken several records, because of their play. All right, Spitface, what you saying about this?
I'm just gonna say this one thing, and then I'm gonna toss it on over to Kevin Kev. But what I'm going to say is that the perception of ring rust outside of boxing, I think is just a perception. these teams, it's not like they're getting 2 months off. They're getting a couple of extra days. So, and do they lose a little bit of rhythm? From what I've seen, teams, once they get in the game, maybe like after the first few minutes, 4-5 minutes tops, they seem to be pretty much get their rhythm back. And I'm just saying overall, on that. So I'm just a non-believer in the ring rust, unless the ring rust is boxing. Because if you ain't been getting used to taking a bunch of punches and you hop in there against somebody ranked, your butt get wiped. That's just how that goes. So personally, I'm going to toss it back over to you so you can toss it on over to Kevin K.
All right, Kevin Kev. What do you think about my New York Knicks and those pathetic Cleveland Cavaliers?
Boy, it is good to hear the radiance in your voice about how much you are celebrating the love that you have for your Knicks. Oh, man. It's impressive. There's no other way of getting around it. To win that many playoff games and to break the spirit of 3 opponents in that way by beating them by the margins that they did. I mean, closing out somebody with a 30-point win is impressive, but they've also got a 50 and a 40 in the last 3. So hats off to the Knicks. I don't think they could play any better as a team that they had over the stretch run. It's just impressive. There's just no getting around it. I think you're right. The challenge is going to be the rust that they have. You can kind of get away with that, and they did get away with that with the Cavs by coming out flat in game 1. 3 days rest. I hear what you're saying about being beat up, but I also remember they're not playing guys my age. They're playing guys in their 20s. The 4 guys on that team that are the leaders of that team aren't even 24 years old. So 3 days rest, those Maseratis are going to be ready to run again. And Harper, whatever he tweaked, I don't see it in the last 2 games. He's going really hard to the hole. He's bumping people off like Mark McGuire back in the day, Spitface. He's impressive. So I'm really excited about whoever emerges out of the West coming to play the Knicks. Really love it for Cat. He struggled mightily in the Twin Cities, getting us to the playoffs and then just imploding. He really has been taken under his wing by Brunson. I love the little conversation that they had that was overheard by the cameras by just saying, hey, we got 4 more. Nothing to get excited about by closing out the Cavs. The work hasn't really even begun. That's just perfect. That, to me, epitomizes the influence Brunson has had, I think, on the whole team, and most notably on Cat, because I'm not seeing the boneheaded decisions that Cat sometimes would do, which would sink our fortunes as a Timberwolves. So I can't be happier for him as well for all the success that he's having.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it's funny, though, because, in the beginning of the season, the Knicks were cohesive, but something happened in that locker room. Cat wasn't buying into Mike Brown's new offense. And we thought there was issues between Brunson and Cat. And because, I've watched all the games, and very seldom Brunson would give Cat the ball. So there was people thought there was a lot of dissension, and there were rumors to that. But after that Atlanta game, when they were down 2-1, they switched the offense. They decided to run the offense through Cat, which is great because we already know having that one-on-one ISO ball with Brunson doesn't work. That's why they lost last year. And so they looked very together. Whatever dissensions they had earlier, it came together when they were down 2-1. And so it might have been Brunson's leadership. Maybe he decided to work with Cat. because you would think that they would run a pick and roll. They don't really run pick and rolls with Cat and Brunson earlier, but now they are. So yeah, definitely everything changed, and it's for the better. And I really think the New York Knicks are destined to win a championship. I truly do. And like I said, they haven't won one since 1973. So I can't imagine what New York City would be if the Knicks win a championship. You see what it is now, and they're in the finals. Can you imagine what it would be if they win a championship? Oh my gosh, it'd be out of control. But anyway, all right.
So when does Spike Lee do the movie? That's the question I have. Because you know he has to do a movie.
Oh yeah. We'll see. We'll see. He probably do a documentary type of thing first as a movie. He's already done his basketball movie. He got game.
Oh no! Right. But as a Knicks fan, you know he'd have to do it.
Yeah. All right, Spitface, over to you.
All right. So it sounds like y'all concluded that the Knicks are the new beast of the East. And that's not just for this year, the way they was whooping butt. And First Lady says, team of destiny. All right, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion overpowering. Over the competition, I'm towering. Record shop when I drop these lyrics to make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that all get slice and dice. Competition, paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punches. The San Antonio Spurs and OKC Thunder have been landing on each other. We wonder, because it's been knockout, drag out, who is giving their team a better chance of going to finals? Wembanyama or Shea Baby? Has this series been a battle of the coaches, or is it all about the superstars? The Spurs had a dominating win Game 6. Will that carry over to Game 7? Who will be the X factor of the Spurs? Who will be the X factor for the Thunder? Leroy Statue Page, Walter Buck Leonard, and my man, James Cool Papa Bear, are asking what you're saying. I'm looking at it's kind of weird because the Spurs and Thunder, they've been going back and forth, basically. There was the back-to-back wins by the Thunder, but they done battled all these games. And it seems as though it's been like lopsided win versus the next lopsided win. And some impressive lopsided wins by the Spurs, but for some reason, not boring. Because usually if you have a couple of games where they're lopsided, the series is boring. And this is not. This has been no lead is safe. Oh, you got a 15-point lead? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see how long you keep that lead. So, and then we'll add that, it's been woolly and wild. And, when you look at Wembanyama and Shea Baby, you go, you got the MVP, the current MVP, and you have Wemby. And you would have to give the current MVP the edge in who's going to get a team a better shot. But for as great as Shea been playing and the way he's played in the playoffs, he done had to earn it. He done had to earn it. He has not been walking over the Spurs. So I'm going to say that Wemby gives them a better chance. He gives them a better chance. Get in the mid-range, Wemby. Get in the mid-range shot. Has this been a series, been a battle of the coaches, or is it all about the superstars? Hey, give the coaches some love. Give the coaches some love, because they've been they've been playing some good chess, and a lot of that good chess has had them win game, blowout numbers for games. So it's like, hey, these two, the coaches is into it. They just ain't on the floor bouncing the ball. But it's not all about the superstars. It really, the coaches doing their thing. Now, the Spirits had a dominating win Game 6. Will that carry over to Game 7? Well, since I'm rooting for the Spurs, I hope it will. Now, I think the X factor for the Spurs is really going to be is the refs. Do the refs hit the Spurs with them ticky-tacky ass fouls? And I think so that's who will be the X factor for the Spurs. How the refereeing goes. Now, who will be the X factor for the Thunder? I'm going to say the coach. The coach will be the X factor. Kev, who getting knocked out?
Boy, that's a tough one. It really is a tough one. I've really come to appreciate both the depth of both teams, the coaching on both sides, little small in-game adjustments folks have made. The fact that the Spurs coach, the guy's not even 40 years old. And some of the guys on the Spurs would, if they had stayed in school, well, some of them wouldn't even have graduated, right? And they, used up all their college eligibility. And having them play not just at a skill level, at a very high level, but they're very poised. Yes, they have had some issues turning the ball over, but I think that's a testament more to the Thunder's defense than it is to erratic behavior and just solely bad decisions. Yes, some decisions could be improved, but you got to give some credit to the Thunder defense. I'd like to say that I think that it is the Spurs, because I think I probably have a Charles Barkley affinity for Ginobili as a kid, but I can make a case for either team going forward, and I think I could convince myself of that because they're so good. I have to say, Spitface, I'm really jealous. I'm really jealous of Spurs fans and Thunder fans because this is really set up for them to have one of the best rivalries, I think, in sports for the next decade. I'm thinking, looking across the Big Four, I don't know if there's two teams that appear not to have played the very best of the very best that they could do and are still improving, and they're at the top of their sport. And there's no reason to don't think that you're going to have 5 to 10 years of high-quality competition between the two teams. But to your question, at the end of the day, I think somehow, some way, the Spurs are going to win. It doesn't make sense because the Thunder are the champions. It doesn't make sense because you have the MVP, and God knows he knows how to get to the foul line when he needs it. My heart is pulling for the Spurs, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow the Thunder figure out a way to get it done in that last minute.
All right. Okay. And who will be the X factor?
Now, you did ask this question as it relates to the X factor. Dagnall has made some nice moves, and it'll sound a little strange when I say this. I think he didn't make some of the moves the night before because I think he wanted the team to see how much fight the Spurs had. I think he did an assessment and saw him kind of talking to some of his assistant coaches on the sideline, and that body language said to the players who are not starters, not starters, that, hey, we don't have it, we've got a game left back in Oklahoma City. And I saw the MVP wanting to test maybe some of his teammates. I would have loved to have been in the locker room on dissecting a little bit of that conversation. McCain, 13 points, didn't quite play the same way he did in Game 5. Caruso, only 7 points. Caruso has been out of his mind as it relates to three-point shooting. I think it's one of those two guys is going to have to step up for the Thunder to win. They've played very well at home. I wouldn't be surprised if the X factor isn't McCain. My second choice, if I was to play it safe, I would probably put a little bit also on Alex Caruso, probably stepping up for the Thunder to win it. On the Spurs, Tassel just has to be cool. He's got to be tough. He can't have an emotional outburst or create a stupid foul, something like that, which he's done on one or two occasions, which has kind of hurt the Spurs. He would be my X factor if I'm going with my heart and Spurs.
All right. Okay. First Lady.
Well, I had picked the Spurs to win this series, and I actually had picked them in 7. I was telling Spitface because, the NBA does their brackets, and I actually had 3 of the 4 teams in the conference finals. The only team I did not have was the Cavs. I had the Pistons instead of the Cavs. But anyway, so I'm picking the Spurs, but the Spurs, that beatdown that the Spurs had on the Thunder, I don't think is going to carry over to the next game because Thunder, the Thunder rarely lose 2 games in a row. And as you indicated, Spitface, they've won, they're the only team that win 2 consecutive games in this series. I believe Game 7 will be a very, very close game. And it's interesting. Sometimes Game 7s are not that close. Sometimes they're blowout games. Because I remember when the Indiana blew out the Knicks at home in a Game 7. so that has strong memories for me. But I think this game is going to be the best game of the series. And so far, you guys were talking about coaching. So far, to me, coaching really hasn't been an issue as far as has Mark Daigneault out-coached Mitch Johnson or vice versa. I don't think it has been like that. But Game 7 comes down to 2 things, though. Game 7 does come down to coaching and how well your superstar plays. So as far as which superstar, Wemby or Shea, gives their team a better chance to win, I'm going to say Shea. Even though I'm picking the Spurs, I'm not saying that the Thunder is going to win. I'm just answering who gives the team the better chance to win, and that is Shea. And the reason why, because Shea controls basically almost all the possessions in the game. He dictates what type of game it's going to be for the Thunder. He can create his own shot. He gets shots for his team and he creates the tempo. So, he controls just about every possession, unlike Wemby. Wemby still needs somebody to feed him the ball. So that's going to be the whole deciding factor regarding Wemby. That's why I think Shea gives his team the better chance to win. And but we know also if Wemby comes out and is a very, very aggressive, the wings on the team, they will follow suit too. It does open things up for everybody. But in this particular thing, Shea's been there before. Shea's been to a 7-game. Remember, they went to a 7-game against the Indiana team. So, and I just think Shea gives his team a better chance to win the finals. To win this series versus Wemby. Now, for my X factor for the Spurs, I have Dylan Harper. I have Dylan Harper as my X factor. He he has been very, like you said, Kenny Kez, earlier, you had talked about him coming back after the injury and showing no effects of that injury. Yeah, he's been spectacular. And I really think if he has an outstanding game, I really believe the Spurs will win. He gives them that really second score creator. He can dribble off. He creates off the dribble. He takes the pressure off for Wemby. And I really think because De'Aaron Fox, he's been hot and cold. You know, he's suffering with injury. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk that with well, I'm not saying surprise because I think he was the number 2 or number 3 pick in the draft. So Dylan Harper was expected to be who he is, but I don't think they expected him to be this great, this fast. Well, he's not, you know what I mean? He's been great, really good for them. There's talk about that they may not keep De'Aaron Fox because they really want Dylan Harper to play with Castle. So that just shows you how great a person Dylan Harper is and what the Spurs think about Dylan Harper. So he's my X factor. And for the Oklahoma City, OKC, I'm going to tell you something. Chet Holmgren has been so disappointing. He is probably the softest big man you want to find in the NBA. He really wants to go to the hoop. Many times he's gotten the ball in the paint. He'll pick the ball back out. I mean, what are you doing, Chet? I mean, you are 7, whatever feet you are so soft. I mean, to be honest with you, if Chet Holmgren had played the way he's capable of playing, this wouldn't even been a series. There's no reason why OKC would have definitely beaten the Spurs if Chet Holmgren has played. He hasn't even scored 20 points in this series. The most he scored has been 16 points. I mean, really. So he's my X factor because if he plays outstanding basketball, I mean, the Thunder will win this game. So, but he's been so ridiculous, terrible. I mean, horrible to be honest with you. I mean, he's gotten a lot of rebounds, but he's still playing very soft when it comes to offense. I mean, this man can stretch the floor. He can go inside. So he's not doing what he's supposed to do. You know, if he's not doing what he's supposed to do. All right, that's all I got to say.
It almost feels, First Lady, like it was a Freaky Friday moment, right? Is that Caruso and Chet Holmgren bumped into each other, and all of a sudden Caruso, right, got feistiness, and all of a sudden he can hit a 3, and now Chet can't hit a 3, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if Caruso's 3-point shooting hadn't showed up in this series, we might already be talking about Spurs and Knicks.
You mean Caruso or you mean Chet?
Yeah, it's Caruso. I mean, Caruso has kept them in 3 or 4 games with his shooting, right? He shot 29% for the year. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. You know what? The shooting has been bad for OKC because even Jalen Williams, Jay Will, because the other one's J Dub. He had that fantastic game, and he hasn't made a 3-pointer shot since. But anyway, yeah.
All right, First Lady, you have the last word. Please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll have a performance from JC Flow on Shout Out Part 1.
Welcome back. The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from JC Flow.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring music from JC Flow and his album Warriors Out of Us. They say JC Flow is carving out his own lane with a sound that feels raw, cinematic, and deeply personal, blending emotional honesty with hard-hitting hip-hop. His music speaks to the fighters, the overcomers, the people still pushing forward through its life's heaviest moments. All right, that sounds really deep. Let's hear Warriors Out of Us.
We don't wait for temples. We build them. Listen. There are warriors in all of us. Blueprint ink on my palms, I was mapping the miles. Turned a dead end block to a chapel of smiles. Rebar rings through the doubt, laid the faith in the crowd. When the storm set out, we learned the shelter was now. Graffiti dreams on the walls, grew into murals of names. Every navy we carry learned to burn in the flame. If the world rolled close, we built a side door key. We left the porch slide on for the kid I used to be. Corner store quiet, 808s under the pews. Every star in the room was like a window of truth. We ain't flawless, we're bonded, pressure tested and tough. We put the pieces together until the pieces become enough. No halo, soldiers, hands that hold me. Raise these beams with heart and soul. We try to bend us, now to spine, same old cracks, brand new shine. We make warriors out of us. Raise the beams with grit and trust. When the wind tries to tear it up, we turn the thunder into drums. Open the door, let them in. Life through the seas pours in. We make warriors out of us. Hear the whole city sing. We build, we breathe, we believe. Hey, we build, we breathe, we believe. I've seen crowns fly when their hands weren't steady. So we teach slow steps till the feet were ready. Little Jacob with the notebook turned his pain into prose. Mama hung by the window while the neon light glows. Granddad on the stoop, puffing masses and laughs. Show you where the danger is and where you can crack. If you came here alone, you won't leave here alone. Relaying floorboards of names, call it a family stone. Take the rep past two, tip it over a crack. Not to hide it, but to mark it where we carried on back. Every note that we swallow, read a drum in the chest. Beat it out, sing it out, let the block fire us. No halo, soldiers, hands that hold me. Raise these beams with heart and soul. We try to bend us, now to spine, same old cracks, brand new shine. We make warriors out of us. Raise the beams with grit and trust. When the wind tries to tear it up, we turn the thunder into drums. Open the door, let them in. Life through the seas pours in. We make warriors out of us. Hear the whole city sing. Make room for the ones on the curb tonight. Make room, every lost one deserves the light. Make room for the benches and widen the aisles. Make room, let the weary exhale and smile. If the city forgets you, or write your name on the door. If they tell you you're nothing, come be something more. We make warriors out of us. Raise the beams with grit and trust. When the wind tries to tear it up, we turn the thunder into drums. Open the door, let them in. Life through the seams pours in. We make warriors out of us. Hear the whole city sing.
Okay, that's Creepzz Kosi Sia. So anyway, I'm going to shout it out. I mean, I thought the combination of the beat with the rapping was pretty decent, and I'm not a rap. I'm not a purist when it comes to rap music, or profess to know the good rap songs or whatever. You know how I am. I just don't care for certain words in rap music, but I'll give them a shout out. I thought it was a well-produced production of a song for them. All right, Kev, I'm interested to hear what you got to say. You shouting out or you hitting the mute?
Oh, I think I'm shouting out, First Lady. I'm not a huge rap fan, but I did find myself bobbing my head listening to it and starting to kind of move my shoulders a little bit, right? That old man chair dance kind of thing. So I kind of had that going on. So, yeah, I like it. I'm going to shout it out.
All right. Yeah, I had the same feeling, too. All right, Spitface, you shouting or you hitting the mute button?
Well, I'm looking at JC Flow, and I can get the cinematic, because the track really kind of made me think of like a clip from a movie. Like I wanted to see the movie to go with the music. So I go, the brother got some skills. He got some skills. I'm shouting it out.
Okay, and I do apologize. I did call JC Flow the wrong group. But that's okay. I'm glad JC Flow. He had some skills. Sometimes, the things just happen that way. All right. On part 2 of Shadow, we'll be featuring a performance from Creepzz X Kosi Sia. That's just a mouthful there. So anyway, is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
It's smarter than you see. And we remember this is a world full of wonder. Lying down under the sea.
All right. It's time for Flip It, where our hosts defend the view and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. So first up, with a champ, all for the Nickies in the house, with a championship ring, made Jalen Brunson the greatest Knick ever. Defend. It's been a long time since championship and Knicks were in the same sentence. With a ring, Jalen will become the greatest Knick ever. Heavy Care, please defend.
So you look at this, and you got to think about who is his competition. So the names that are on the list are Patrick Ewing. I mean, if you look at the stats that he has compiled during his Knick career, he's got to be in that conversation. And then you got to go to I arguably think the 2 best players on the Knicks team. Apologies to the Senator. But I think you got to go with Walt Frazier and Willis Reed. Reed won the MVP for the league. Frazier, 7-time All-NBA, 7-time defensive NBA player, first team. So, and both of those players are likely ranked in your top 50, 60 players, maybe even your top 40 players. Is Brunson in that, rarefied air? Now, here's the case for it. Willis Reed and Frazier were teammates, and they were able to do some great things together. Who is Brunson's number 2? Let's face it, they don't go anywhere without Brunson last year. And it's hard to imagine that the symphony playing the way that it has been over the last month, with the Knicks winning by ridiculous margins and doing something that no team had done in the NBA playoffs, going a whole month without losing. I think you can make a strong case that if he wins the NBA championship with this team, he's done more with less than Willis or Frazier, because they at least had each other. The only guy I think currently on the Knicks roster that likely will have some consideration to be in the Hall of Fame is probably Cat. But I don't think Cat has put up quite the numbers that Frazier and Reed. He definitely is not considered, I don't think, by most NBA analysts to be clearly a first ballot kind of Hall of Famer. Where I think Reed and Frazier, well before their playing careers were over, I think people were thinking, yeah, they're definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think we think about that with Cat. So all that being said, Brunson doing more with less, Brunson taking the team on his back the last couple of years and being able to climb the mountaintop. And by the way, beating maybe one of the best players of his generation, who might be on Mount Olympus for basketball when it's all said and done, Wemby. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's not shabby either because he's won 2 MVP awards back-to-back. And the other 4 guys, they're on Mount Olympus for the NBA. That would put Brunson as the greatest Knick ever.
All right, Kevy Kev, the greatest Knick ever, but the greatest Knick fan ever, First Lady, defend.
First of all, I did not hear Kevy Kev say that John Starks is up there in top Knicks players. Did you say that,
come on now. No, I didn't say John Starks. I didn't say John Starks. I said Walt Frazier.
I know Walt Frazier. I thought I heard you say John Starks. Okay, I thought.
Oh, no. No, as a Bulls fan, you almost had me. I almost lost my religion there. You think of John Starks?
Oh, okay.
As a Bulls fan? Okay. No, we can't have that.
All right. Anyway, when we talk about the Knicks and what Brunson has done for the Knicks, I mean, he will be the best Knick ever because you have to look into different eras because the 1973, 1969, that's not considered the modern era of basketball. And that's how you have to break it up into the modern era of basketball. So most of these Knicks fans are young players. They weren't even, young people. They weren't even born when Willis Reed and Walt Frazier played. So, yes, they're going to say Brunson is the greatest player for the Knicks if he wins a championship. And Kevin Kev was on there when he was on spot when he talked about the fact that Frazier, Willis Reed, they had 4? I think it was 4 of those players on that team are in the top 100 greatest players. If I'm not, because you had the Busher, Reed, Bradley, and Earl Monroe. We forget about Earl Monroe. Earl Monroe was on the team. So, yes, they had a great team. Brunson does not have that same caliber of players, even though Cat is going to be a Hall of Famer. No question about it. I'm shocked that Kevin Kev said if he becomes. He may become. No, he'll be a Hall of Fame, most definitely. So Brunson, it's been 53 years since the Knicks have won a championship, so that holds a lot of weight. He, like I said, he's delivered the best moments for people who are currently Knicks fans, which are younger kids. We're talking about kids in their 40s, 30s. That's who we're talking about, and it's just like you said, the competition is completely different now compared to the earlier era of basketball. And, so I truly think that, yes, he will be the greatest Knicks ever if he delivers a championship, especially how he won that game against Cleveland, the first game. That basically cemented it for him if the Knicks wins a championship.
All right, First Lady. This is flipping, so we have to flip the script. With a ring, Jalen is great, but not the greatest. When I look at it, it will be a great thing if Jalen gets a ring, because it has been forever and a day since the Knicks won a championship. So that's a long drought. But we can't get over our head. Yes, some might argue if Michael Jordan had won one championship with the Bulls, he would have been the greatest Bull player ever. And probably not. When you get the greatest, you don't just do it once. You do it more than once. So Jalen get a second ring. He is on the solid trajectory to be the greatest Knick ever. But one ring, a great Nick, one of the greatest, but the greatest, Kevin Kev, defend.
That Spitface is spot on. If you're climbing Mount Olympus, right, and hanging out with the basketball gods, you're not just there for a visit, a flyover. That's where you put down some roots, right? You're building a house. You're building some permanency there. So you got to do it more than once. I think they're really talented, the Knicks are, as a team. But I do wonder if they don't win it this year, given how many picks that Sam Presti has. He is a wonderful GM, and I'm sure he's already thinking how he's going to build the Thunder 2.0 to even improve upon where they are, so he doesn't have to be worrying as much about Game 7. And I also think, too, with Duncan and Robinson in Wemby's ear, I can't think of a better team for Wemby to be on, to be mentored. And then given the young talent they have there, I mean, it's ridiculous. We could be in for a decade similar to Bird and Magic. And where the Knicks are the Brad Doherty price of this decade. They're on the outside looking in. So to me, if he is going to be the greatest of all time for the New York Knickerbockers, he's going to have to win more than one NBA ring to be in that conversation. And, we'll see if he can do it more than once. We're going to take, unfortunately, his competition in the Eastern Conference also to task in it. James Harden, great career, but let's face it, there's not as much tread on those tires, right? That wasn't a very impressive win, and I'm still waiting to hear what the injury report is for Mitchell because he's just not right. I don't see any explosive getting back on defense. That's not who he is. He's hurt. You got to play harder on defense. That's not his MO. And, it's just not very strong, top to bottom in the Eastern Conference. Now, in a couple of years, Detroit will smooth some things out. They'll figure some things out. They'll become a better team. But no, people will say this was a situation which this team took advantage of the schedule, took advantage of some things, maybe won a championship. And then if we don't hear from them in the next 7-8 years, no other championships for him, we'll think of Brunson as a really great player, but we won't think of him as the best Knick of all time.
All right. Okay. First lady. With a ring, Jalen is great, but not the greatest. Defend.
No, he's not the greatest because the greatest Knick ever is Walt Frazier. I mean, he is the standard for the greatest. I mean, his resume speaks, as you both were saying, you got to have 2 NBA championships to consider yourself to be even in the same league with Walt Frazier. He won 2, 1970 and 1973. He is a Hall of Famer. I mean, Brunson is on his way to be a Hall of Famer, but, right now, you can't put him ahead of Walt Frazier. Right now, I have Walt Frazier as the number 1 Knick in history, the greatest Knick. If Brunson wins a championship, I will put him as number 2. And the reason why I move him ahead of Patrick Ewing, because Patrick has not delivered a championship to the Knicks and the Knicks fans. And, so I would have Walt Frazier, Jalen Brunson, Patrick Ewing, Willis Reed. And we always forget about Bernard King. Bernard King was one of the greatest Knicks. I put him even ahead of Carmelo Anthony. So those would be my top 5. So Jalen Brunson definitely would move up the ladder, but he would not pass Walt Frazier. And the main reason he wouldn't pass Frazier is because Frazier has 2 NBA championships, and that would be Jalen Brunson only having 1. And, like you said, I mean, he still has a chance of getting another one, but like you said, Kevin is going to be difficult because things always get harder. That's why they need to seize the moment now and win that 1 championship. So, but Walt Frazier definitely is the standard of the greatest Knick ever. And even though he did not play in the modern era, he played up until, I think he retired in 1979, because I think that was the year they traded him to Cleveland. So and then eventually he just retired after that. I would never thought that the Knicks would trade Walt Frazier, but they did. So, but yeah, he is the greatest Knick ever. That's all I'm saying.
All right, First Lady, you gotta have more than one to even be in the consideration. With that said, First Lady, over to you for more. Flip it.
Apparently, LeBron is playing in the upcoming season, but the question is where? Should the Cavs go all in to bring LeBron home? Defend. Bring LeBron home. The Cavs should go all out. Kev, defend.
Oh, this is an easy one. What in the heck was the coach talking about before Game 4 with the Knicks? We won the analytical thing. If you look at it on paper, we should be 2-1. And then James Harden followed up saying we outplayed the Knicks on paper. I mean, if I'm a Cleveland Cavalier fan, I'm beside myself, right? I don't know which way to turn. This is an easy one. From a public relations standpoint, they got to change the conversation in the offseason. We got Mr. Magoo. I mean, what is going on with the Cavaliers
organization? In Ohio? What are they smoking?
Right. What is going on? So, yeah, this is an easy one. They need LeBron to come back and restore some sense of order, right? A reason for Cavaliers fans to think, okay, well, they have something on the ball. They understand what winning is about. They brought back a winner, right? So the King should come back home, I think. He has played more of his time in Los Angeles than I think a lot of people really understand and appreciate. It would be a miss to me of him not coming home, and they can make an argument for the Heat and make an argument for the Lakers of him going in with that jersey on into the Hall of Fame. But there is just something, I think, about how much it was important to bring a championship back to Cleveland. It feels that's the way the story should end. He should come back to Cleveland.
All
they
right.
should make it happen.
Okay, they should bring him back, and you said they should make it happen. All right, Fit Face. Why the Cavs should go all out for LeBron?
I'm going with. I'm looking at nobody fears the beard anymore. There's no fear in that beard, and I'm going. He doesn't have to worry about what's that stuff they put in their beards, so the gray won't show and all of that. It don't matter. The gray is showing all over his plate. And I'm not saying that Harden can't put up good games and good numbers and all of that. Yeah, he can do that. But he turns into a shrinking violet during the playoffs and in big games. So the Cavs, it's all about the dollar bill. And the Lakers are going to pack the stadium with or without LeBron. And the Lakers are already working on their future, and their future is not LeBron. Now, they're giving LeBron respect because he's still a top player in the league and still in the top 10 and all of that, but Father Time wins the game. And nagging little injuries that even for LeBron start catching up with him. And if this is going to be his last season, possibly his last season, come on home. Come on home and I would say he has a better chance of winning a championship with the Cavs than he does with the current Laker team that's building. The Lakers are looking at having to battle the Thunder and the Spurs, to get, to go anywhere during the playoffs. And the Spurs and Thunders look like they're going to be competing to be in the finals every year for quite a while. So the Lakers are going to be the odd team out. But over in the East, the East is a wild and woolly kind of animal. And you never know who's going to be the beast of the East. So LeBron, they got pieces. They bring you in. And, hey, like Rocky 3, you come on out. You still got something left in the tank. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay, you still got something left in the tank. Well, you know what? If LeBron is willing to take a discount and maybe he can get a deal like Kawhi Leonard, wink, wink, it would be a very comfortable fit for LeBron to be in Cleveland, on the Cleveland team. He can fit in that small forward spot, they have such a glaring problem with that small forward. Because right now, they've been going with Dean Wade. Sometimes they go with Max Strus. Those are not really, they don't really fit that role that well. And LeBron could fit that role really well. And he'll be with Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley will still be on, that would be, right. They would have the three and plus the two guards. That's a very formidable team. And LeBron doesn't have to be the best scorer all the time. He could be like the point forward. So I really think it's a good fit for him to be on this Cavaliers there, but he must take a discount. He is making $50 million. But, and like you said, it is an easier way to the finals because of the East, and the West is so difficult right now. You have the young teams like the Spurs and the Thunder, who's always going to be up there, and who knows what the Rockets are going to look like, and the Nuggets can come back. So it's a tough road, and he knows that. He hasn't even sniffed a final since he won it in the bubble, and that was in 2020. So 6 years he hasn't sniffed a finals. So, and what's more of a beautiful story, he returns to retire. He has the curtain call. He does the retirement tour. That's all about, him in the Cleveland area. If he could win another title for Cleveland, he definitely would get a statue. He might still get a statue, but he definitely would get a statue. So, no, definitely, the Cavs need to bring LeBron in without any hesitation. However, this is flip it, so we're going to flip it. As tempting as it is, LeBron is not the answer to the Cavs winning a championship. They should pass. Spit face defend.
Well, when I look at it, it's as they say, it's a dollar bill kind of industry. And what the Cavs need is to have a winning team that can compete in the East and get them a shot at being in the finals and winning the championship. That is not going to happen with LeBron on the team. And it didn't happen for the Lakers. It's not going to happen for the Cavaliers. So it's like, yeah, you can get a temporary, you can get that temporary high. We brought in LeBron, we got a shot, and you can sell out the tickets and all of that, but you're going to be in the same place. Inside, you're going to be outside looking east as the Knicks repeat. Because you got to build a team that can beat the Knicks. And bringing in LeBron for a nostalgic tear-filled final tour is not the way to go. The way to go is find what you need so you can, a team that many predicted would be in the finals you got to bring some players in who can fulfill on that mission. And LeBron, as much as a novelty and great as it would be and fun, it's just not what you need. That, you know, the Lakers, I'll say that it works out for them. You know, they made a deal with LeBron. It's like, let him go out the way he wants to go out and stuff. But really, they need to kind of, hey, LeBron, will you go ahead and sit down so we can, you know, because we got to compete with the Thunder. we got to compete with the Spurs, possibly the Rock. You know, we got to compete. And the mix just ain't there. So, Cleveland, you don't need it. Way bye-bye. But give him a statue anyway. That's what I'm saying.
All right, give him a statue. All right, Kev. They don't need LeBron.
Well, yeah. I mean, if the question is, can Cleveland win a championship? They brought LeBron to Cleveland, and the answer is hell no. It's never going to happen. So they shouldn't be flirting with the idea, as emotionally as it would be to see the king return, right? If it's a bottom line business of winning a championship, you got to say no to this proposition. Just think about where he is now. Luka and Austin Reeves. Would you take them for your future going forward over what you just saw with Mitchell and Harden? I'm not sure I would pick Harden over Reeves. I feel like I would get more of a fighter's chance with him being willing to play some defense and when healthy, definitely giving us more energy than the bearded one at this stage in his career. And as a flat-out scorer, Luka is a much better scorer than Mitchell. So to me, if he's not good enough to take those two players and the roster that the Lakers have and compete, I don't see how he's coming to the East and then facing them in the finals, he's going to come out with any better result. So to me, pursuing LeBron, knowing what it would cost, and knowing that it will put you in the second apron. And by the way, Cleveland already has a bloated payroll. There's no way that they could compete for an NBA championship as they bring LeBron on board. This is an easy one. They should not. If their goal, like every other NBA team is to win an NBA championship, bring LeBron on, because he is not going to move them any closer to that. I dare say they probably take a step back, given how much it would cost their team to be able to do it, and they would probably mortgage either their future through picks or mess themselves up financially, that they're not in a position to sign any mid-range exceptions under the NBA CBA, on the NBA collective bargaining agreement. No, this is easy. Don't do it.
They don't want me to do it. Yeah, I mean, the Cavaliers are already in the second apron. I believe the teams left in the playoffs. They were the only team in the second apron. So bringing LeBron in, because is he going to take that cut and pay? Because like I said, he'll do it like Kawhi did, pay him some other way. But we already know that's under dispute right now. So, you know, the most that they can offer him is the veteran minimum. And is LeBron going to play for the veteran minimum? No, I don't think so. He still thinks he's a top, at least a top 15 player still in the league. He's not going to get the veteran minimum. But do the Cavs really need LeBron? I mean, it's already bad. They got two bad defensive players, Harden and Mitchell. You're going to add another one in LeBron? I mean, LeBron is better, but he's still not the defensive player he was once when he was younger. So, I mean, I don't think that's going to work. And the problem with the Cavs, they need a two-way wing. They need somebody to fill that third spot of being that small forward. That's what they need. They need a young, small forward who can play defense and can cover other wings. And that's what they need. And they need somebody with some physicality. Now, LeBron does bring a lot of physicality, but the problem is the Cavs are so strapped financially, and that's where the Knicks took care of them because of their bench. The Cavs bench, you would think the bench was okay. I mean, Tyson was doing well in the regular season. I know how he kind of fell out of favor. Dennis Schroeder, he's always been Dennis the Menace. So they still need to build up that their bench, and mainly from the wing point of view. So bringing in LeBron is not going to help them financially with flexibility to strengthen their bench. And for LeBron to be effective, he needs the ball to be effective. And you already got two people on there who also needs the ball, Mitchell and Harden. So it sounds good. It would be a nice ending to his career, but from the Cavs' point of view, it's just not going to work, and I don't think it's going to make them any better to go to the finals from the East. I mean, I think it would change their culture. That's the only thing I think it would do. It would change their culture, but I don't think it's going to benefit them. They definitely need to pass. They're not going to win a championship with LeBron. So, like you said, Kev, he couldn't do it with the current team he's on. So it's going to be interesting where LeBron goes because supposedly LA doesn't really want him back. They really want to move on from LeBron. So, I mean, there's always been statements that LeBron, KD, and Steph wanted to play together, so he might be trying to revive that big three, and it's going to probably be in Golden State, so with the Golden State Warriors. If he take a pay cut, he'll take a pay cut for the Warriors, but not for anybody else. All right, Spitface, over to you.
All right, on the other side of the break, we have a performance from Creepzz X Kosi Sia on Shout Out Part 2. Please keep your ears glued to those speakers.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
On the second part of shout out, we are featuring a track from Creepzz X Kosi Sia and his album Overdose. They say Creepzz is a hip-hop rap artist from the east of England, known for his unique British hip-hop style. Creepzz draws comparisons to artists like K. Koki, Benny Banks, and Potter Paper, blending UK rap with elements of Afrobeat and Afro house. Creepzz is quickly becoming one to watch. All right, yeah, I'm trying to work on my the lifestyles of the rich and famous. Maybe I can get picked up. But let's hear the title track, Overdose. DJ, roll it.
Can you give me your heart and love, and your body and your soul and mind? Can you give me your heart and love, and your body and your soul and mind? Cause everything now is for us, stand by my side. Can you give me your heart and love? We're overdosed, you're overdosed. We're overdosed on the love, we're overdosed. Can you give me your heart and love, and your body and soul and mind? Cause everything now is for us, stand by my side. Creepzz X Kosi Sia.
Don't let it go. For you never know. Needed to know. I want you all the time. I need you to survive. Overdose, overdose. Oh baby, give me all your love. Can I get enough? Overdose, overdose. Oh baby, give me all your love. Can I get enough? Overdose.
Can you give me your heart and love and your body and your soul and mind? Cause everything that I do's for us, stand by my side. Do right, then we both be fine. I overdose on your love. You got me feeling the way, and this way that I feel isn't feeling the same. The way that you look in my eyes, I'm surprised that you're feeling my wave. Can you feel what I say? Can you feel my wave? Can you feel my wave? It's like an overdose, and I'm feeling you. Can you feel what I say? Can you feel what I say? I'm overdose.
Overdose, she give me overdose. Why move slow, get rubbered up? You done make me want lose control. Let me come close to you. When I'm coming, make I feel you. Give me good vibes and overloads, yeah. You're my favorite, you're my pride. Yet you don't stop, you need my guide. On top of the wall, now feel so right. Beside need you all my life. No letting go. For you never know. Need you to know. I want you all the time. I need you to survive. Overdose, overdose. Oh baby, give me all your love. Can I get enough? Overdose, overdose. Oh baby, give me all your love. Can I get enough? Overdose, overdose. Oh baby, give me all your love. Can I get enough? Overdose, overdose. Oh baby, give me all your love. Can I get enough? Overdose.
Overdose. You're overdose. We're overdosed on love. Overdose. We're overdosed.
All right, that was Overdose. And First Lady, I'm going to give the track a shout out, but I do wish it had a little more meat. I can hear he blended in the house music with a little rap. So I think the production was good, and he's on the right track. But I think the track needed more meat. But I'm giving it a shout out because it was well done. What's the verdict? First Lady, we might have you mute.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I didn't have it mute because I was muting the song. I'm gonna yo it, but I'm gonna slightly give it a shout out. I'm gonna slightly give it a shout out. Like you said, it needed some more substance to it. Yeah, I like the part where it almost had like a Caribbean feel. He might be from the islands or something, but there was a part of there with his rapping. I like that little beat part there, but it wasn't enough of that. But like you said, he has promise, and I'm quite sure on probably some of the other tracks it might be a little bit more detail as far as the production of the rap song and everything. So I'll give it a shout out. I'll shout it. I'll switch it from a yo to a shout out.
A shout out with caveats. Okay. All right. That is the end of shout out for this week. You can check out JC Flow plus Creepzz on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you'd like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, over to you.
Okay, so it's time for the hardwood picks. The production staff, assistants, we're still working on those picks from previous weeks. We have to iron some things out still. But we do have the Game 7 Spurs versus Thunder, Game 7, and we do have these picks. So let's get at these picks. Winner, loser for 75 million points. Spurs versus the Thunder. I'm going to take the Spurs because that's who I had chosen. We'll get Dizzy Mac and Dizzy Mac and Kevy Kev. Kevy Kev had to leave, so we'll get his picks later. All right, Spitface, who do you have?
I'm going with them there Spurs.
Okay. Going with the Spurs. Over, under, push. They were 25 points. 25 million points. Yama, 25 points. Spitface, over, under, push.
Over.
Yeah. Yes, I'm going with over also. He's been near 20s, even when he's losing. So even when they lost, he had over 20 5, so he's definitely. Wembanyama, 8 rebounds. Now I was very disappointed because he had 6 rebounds one particular game. He needs to rebound, but he does take a lot of 3-pointers, so he's not getting those offensive rebounds. So, all right, you know what I'm going to say? It's a must-win game. I'm going to say over 8 rebounds. Fit face?
I'm going to go with over.
Okay. All right. Wembanyama, 3 blocks. Spit face.
Over.
I'm going to say over. I'm going to go with under this time. He had 3 blocks last game, but I'm going to say under. I think that's some of this Thunder problem. They keep they need to pull up before they get into that lane. They just, I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, Stephon Castle, 20 points. I'm going, spit face. I think you're Stephon Castle, 20 points.
Over.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't had 20 points in a while. Oh, this is a tough one. Toughy. Because it's, I'm going to say under. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 29 points. I'm going to say over. Spit face.
Under.
Oh, you're going with under. Okay. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 8 assists. He only had 4 assists, but the game was really out of the way. Okay, actually, I'll go with you first, Spit face.
Under.
Under. I'm going to go with over. I think he's going to dominate, but like I said, I still think they're going to lose the game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 1 turnover. Ooh, I'm going to say, I'm going to say push. Spit face.
Over.
You think he'll have more? He only had 2 last game, so he's been working on those turnovers. Chet Holmgren, 15 points. Spit face.
Over.
Yeah, he better get over 15 points. OKC, 118 points. I think, see, this is the question. What did they say? They said Joe, he said 218. Going to be, all right, I'm going to go with over.
Yeah, I'm going with under.
You're going with under. Okay. And Spurs, 120 points.
I'm going with
Go ahead, Spitz.
Oh, I'm going over.
All right, I'm going to go over. I think it's going to be a hot, because I think this game is going to overtime. So I think it's going to be a nip and tuck game, but I think it's probably going to be a high scoring game. So we definitely shall see what it's going to look like. But going to be it's going to be interesting because games, like I said, game 7s are usually not good games. To be honest with you, they're usually not good games. But anyway, moving along. Spitface, what is your top story to watch this week?
All right. It is the injury report once the Spurs and Thunder have completed going into the playoffs. Like we know we got an injury on the Knicks. What kind of injuries? Because that's going to impact the series. So it's the injury report for the playoffs. Okay,
well, my top story to watch this week or this week or week above is A.J. Brown going to be traded after June 1st? the Eagles, I'm coming to the back of football. Is he going to be traded? That's what they're saying. So that's my top story to watch. Is A.J. going to be traded? So I want to congratulate Lisa Leslie. They are going to put a statue up in front of, what's the name of this stadium? It used to be Staples Center, but it's not that. I think I forgot. I forgot the name of it. Well, anyway, in front of the Lakers arena, they're going to be putting a statue up of Lisa Leslie. So I think that is such a, she's going to be the first woman obviously who will have her statue there. She played many years with the Sparks and is so deserved. They have a lot. If you ever go to LA and you go to the arena, they have a lot of statues up in front of that arena. And it's going to be very nice to see that Lisa Leslie is going to have her own statue in front of, it's crypto.com arena. So, I mean, that is something spectacular for her. Check out our current and previous episodes at brazpantiesandsports.com. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, along with Spit Faith and Kevy Kev. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.